Welcome back to the weekly news roundup. This is the privacy and the AI editions. These are recorded live Fridays, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. If you want to catch the show, we do stream on multiple different platforms. So you can head on over to switchedtolinux.com/live. switchedtolinux.com/live, and you can get the links, list of all of the different alt tech platforms we are currently streaming to. So, of course, we will have some band news tonight. You'll have to jump to one of the alts for that one. All right, but we're going to go ahead and get jumping back in, and we will jump back in here to the privacy news, and then we will do a little bit of AI, and then we will wrap up the first section. So, let's start. So New Zealand, Digital Identity Services Trust Framework Bill passes the final reading. This means that it would go into effect 1st of July 2024 at the latest. So we're talking a little over a year from now. So this is yet another country that is working with digital IDs, kind of like Canada, and some of the truckers that use the digital IDs and had to were a little disconcerted that as you drive near the checkpoints, they already have the information because your app has already been beaconed long ago. And that's really the direction they want to go. And really, this is such a way that you could put up little beacons and you can use these digital IDs to track you around the world. So you want to probably not use this stuff if you care at all about your privacy and you don't want the government constantly keeping an eye on anything and everywhere you're doing. Of course, if they throw us into another koofy locky-down, then they'll be able to tell exactly who is breaking it. You naughty people. So this one was a little interesting in that New Zealand actually has a big native population. And this one here actually has, this is the Te Maori, which I spent a little bit of time looking into. Very interesting. You actually had, back when they were first being colonized by those evil colonizers, they're like, they came in and did a whole bunch of things. Yeah, the biggest point of contention is, can you guys just please stop sacrificing children? Literally, okay? Literally. Y'all guys that think colonization is a bad thing, the colonizers got there and said, hey, you think you could stop sacrificing human beings? Okay, and that was kind of the point of contention. The non-Catholics came in and said, hey, we really would like you to stop sacrificing human beings before we would baptize you and start teaching the faith. The Catholics come and say, nah, we'll baptize you with those human sacrifices. We'll just assume you're going to stop it later. Very interesting. Nothing about human sacrifice in the new digital ID laws. I just found it was very interesting that people talk about the colonization. Oh, it's so bad, those evil European colonizers. Yeah, we actually tended to put an end to human sacrifice. Sorry if that's an okay thing, but but the Te Maori is and I have no idea if I'm actually pronouncing that correctly. This is the native population. It is fairly peaceful, much more mystic type religion type things. And apparently there's enough of this that they had to create this digital ID, which has things to consider their particular worldview, custom, and protocols into the creation of the digital ID. I have no idea what that looks like. They did not give us any real details about what that looks like. I just found it was very interesting to have that, and reading about the history of that particular native population was certainly a funny thing. But this one here is bringing it in line, very similar to they identified a few other places. I think Australia has a similar one. Canada has a similar one. I think there was a couple other countries mentioned in here. Probably Estonia, because that's like the leader in this kind of stuff. Of course, the system was hacked not long ago. Oh, joy. Everything is digital, highly secure. It was all hacked, breached. Security breach. All right. So you guys in New Zealand, if you can fill me in on any more, that's kind of the customs that were involved in that, let me know. All right, so Google and ADT, we did report on this a few years ago when this original merger happened. I did report it on in the weekly news roundup. This is the very first product release of this partnership. I'm not going to use the words that Polymatrix had mentioned I shouldn't use again, Okay, fine, I'll use it. The spawn of Satan comes together. I'm kidding. All right. Google and ADT merged together, and they're creating a next gen of security systems with, as the article says here, a lot of subscription fees. So what they're doing now is a self-installable system that you can do, which has the elements of the old ADT security systems mixed with the elements of the Google Home systems. In other words, Google's going to be able to monitor everything going on as well. And so that's kind of what it is. Now, in this first one here, it's not super expensive as far as the individual components. So basically you have this hub here. You have the stay, away, night, or off, easy buttons. You have the access there. Now, this basically is like the size of a smart speaker, has to sit somewhere in the house. Some people said, well, this is a little bit problematic. So there's actually a little thing here you can hang by your door. So you can go ahead and turn it off or whatever else. So you have that information there. Here's the size of the smart hub. That'll work with that. I think this is one of the keypads, and then here's a few different options. I think these are like door and window mounts and things like that. Here's some motion detection type stuff. So you can get these, the home kits here. The hub is $180. The keypad is $90. And each door/window sensor is $15. Motion sensors are $25. Smoke detector is $40. Flood and temperature sensor $35. So basically you can get these, and then there's some combinations and stuff if you want to buy a few things together to get some things, and then you'll get $100 off the hub if you want to order one soon. So you can get that. You can set everything all up in your house, and then you just have to sign up for the subscription fees. So $25 a month for the ADT equipment, but if you hook up some Google or you want to do the Z-Wave type gear as well, it would be $35 a month to do that. Now, Google Nest, of course, has their extra things in there. So for $6 a month, you can have some basic Google services without any 24/7 streaming. For $9 a month, you can have the Nest Aware Plus, which includes 10 days of 24/7 video surveillance, and it keeps stuff with 60 days of event history. So you can put together, the good thing about this is you can put together the, a decent home security system for fairly cheap, and the subscription fees for home security monitoring is not horrible, but it's not something I specifically want personally. The big problem that I see here is you're combining all these companies together. Remember, ADT is the company that one of their home monitoring professionals was turning on people's cameras to watch them doing the horizontal boogie in the customer's bedroom at one point in time. We covered that in the news. So we have ADT, which has a lot of access to your home, and now we have Google with a lot of access to your home. These two coming together, and this means a lot of issues on the privacy front, in all honesty. All right, Orlando Health accused of sharing patients' information with Facebook, says a lawsuit. This has created a class action lawsuit. Very similar. We talked about this in the past, that a new industry standard came down from the powers that be, saying, yes, these tracking pixels are problematic. Well, the Orlando Health, the hospital network there, and it was actually using these Facebook trackers, and probably TikTok and Google trackers too, if their website had been updated more recently. The problem is that when these trackers, they're not like the old pixels before that pinged the IP that it's there. These are advanced, complicated JavaScript session replay functions that get onto your system and literally keylog, keystroke. They look at what your mouse does. They look at what you're doing. They input everything you're inputting. They know what you're searching. These have a lot of information, and these are embedded. Any company that's using Facebook for marketing or Google for marketing or TikTok for marketing has these things embedded into the system. And anything you're doing and any content about that site, Facebook has access to. And so the problem is, you have a hospital. It's one thing if you just have generic information on the front page having a Facebook tracker. But once that Facebook tracker hits inside of a paywall on a medical system, you are looking at a potential HIPAA violation according to new rules, which we reported on a few months ago. And so in this case here, the Facebook tracking pixel got information on people's individual health. Facebook uses the information for target advertisements to sell to third-party marketers, the lawsuit said, adding it was possible to glean if someone is pregnant, has cancer, dementia, or HIV, or is considering weight loss surgery, for example. Patients have no idea what is happening behind the scenes as their privacy is invaded, said the lawsuit, which is called a violation of HIPAA. Now, I have a video on this channel where we talked about how to block these trackers, and if you're doing that successfully, you are going to be invisible to Facebook doing this stuff to you. But there's no easy button to do that. You have to do a modified host files and things like that to prevent that from happening. And so that is what is going on right there. And on to our final one, the FBI's contract to buy mass internet data. Now, part of this, this has access to what's called Netflow Data. So a company called Cymaru obtains information from ISPs and then turns around and sells that to the government. Now, I was not able to verify, and I don't think anybody else has verified this information, although Vice has reported on it in a few different articles. This company claims to be able to monitor the various ISPs, and including the ability to tell what is being tunneled through a VPN. Now, that would be very difficult to do, and I would really like to see their explanation, or at least see some proof that they can actually do that. However, I will say this. Here is where it's possible, and this is how internet works, right? You do a DNS request, and then this computer does a DNS request up, and then that traffic goes somewhere. This is a problem with big companies having access. This is why I do not like Cloudflare. They have too much access to too many sites. If you control the entry node and you control the exit node, you can see all the data in between. That is how to compromise Tor. The problem is, since Tor bounces through so many different jurisdictions, it becomes almost impossible for them to do it, because you would have to have entry and exit nodes everywhere. Because of what they claim, Tor has banned this company from having entry or exit nodes. So Tor is generally going to be safe from this. This company, though, does claim to be able to have all sorts of data, including data going through VPNs, and they sell this to the FBI, among other government groups. Now, can they see the non-VPN traffic? Undoubtedly. Can they see the VPN traffic? I would like to see the data on that. I can't verify that, and the only information I can find is reported from Vice and Motherboard articles. So that to be whatever that is. So basically in here, FBI paid tens of thousands of dollars. The contract amount was like $75,000 or something for Netflow data collected in bulk by a private company, according to the internal FBI documents obtained by Motherboard. The document provides more insight into the often overlooked trade of internet data. Motherboard has previously reported the U.S. Army's and FBI's purchase of such data. New documents show the purchase was for the FBI's cyber division, which investigates hackers in the worlds of cybercrime and national security. So commercially provided Netflow information data, 2 months of service, it reads. So that was $75,000. $76,400 for the purchase of data in 2017. FBI also bought from Argonne Ridge Group. The affiliate team, Cyru, uses contracts with public agencies in 2009, 11, and 13. They did not, of course, respond to comment. Now, of course, they say that they have access to VPN data as well. I don't think they have it on this article, apparently. I just searched for VPN, didn't show up. But in other articles, they do mention that, yes, they actually do have access to VPN data as well. And so the question is, are we really safe once they want to target you? Probably not. But that is whatever that happens to be worth. So just be aware that that could happen. According to this data, Tor is generally still considered safe. I know some people are like, Tor has been compromised. It has not been compromised. The Tor is still reasonably safe. Of course, you have to not be an idiot, not do stupid things, and not make yourself a target to be examined. But at the same time, if you're just looking up that weird mole on your foot and you don't want that tied back to any other accounts you're doing, Tor's a great use and application for that. With that being said, though, we're going to jump on over to our next section, AI. But first, you can help support the channel with our merch. So shop.switchedtolinux.com. You can get yourself some things. This hat actually came from my merch store, as did my mouse pad. Isn't that beautiful? This mouse pad's like 5 years old now. It's still holding up great, actually. So you can get hoodies, t-shirts, hats, mouse pads, bags, baby onesies. Look at that. All sorts of fun stuff. You can get all those over at shop.switchedtolinux.com. Aliens in tinfoil hats, other Switch Linux stuff, and things like that. With that, let's head on over to AI news. All right. Newegg's new AI bot tried to help me build a PC, and it did not go well. This is kind of where I'm saying that AI is not nearly as useful. Basically, all our current measure of AI is simply it's dumbing down search engine results. If you can get any dumber than that, it reminds me of the time when I was a college professor and I gave the students an assignment, and after a few weeks I said, hey, we're going to check their drafts and see how they're doing. Everyone panics because half the class didn't do anything yet. And so they gave me like crappy stuff with literally, I had an organic chemistry paper. Somehow they had a reference to Cliff Notes. What? One of the contributing reasons why I stopped teaching. How do you teach incompetent buffoons? But AI seems to be looking at search engine results and summarizing that. Okay, is a summary of a Cliff Note. Okay, that's really all we're getting. All right. And so what is this turning into? Excellent recommendations? No. Basically, it just went through, the inventory, so the guy says PC for playing games, i7, RTX 360, price 1300, build with AI. Grayman Graphics, they just basically give you a list of everything in their current inventory. Like, what the hell? This is not useful. All right. Especially it's like, what motherboard do you use? A Ryzen and an Intel i series processor needs a completely different motherboard. Okay. You need to make sure you have that. You need to make sure that the graphics card is compatible with the board and the processor. It's not complicated building a computer these days, but there's a few steps you have to have some basic cognitive awareness of, and it would appear that Newegg's AI does not seem to have that awareness. So I wish that they had actually given me the ability to click on this and see this art picture, because it's fairly useless. But basically the guy said, yeah, I put together a bunch of lists. I showed them to people who have built my computers in the past, and they all laughed hysterically at me and said, don't order that crap. And that's basically how Newegg's new AI computer bot to build your PC is actually working. So whatever that happens to be worth. I guess I did look at these. Maybe I forgot about it. Elon Musk, Apple co-founder, and other tech experts call for a pause on giant AI experiments, calling it a dangerous race. This is very true, as we talked about a few weeks ago, how Google basically sent down a memo directive saying, hey, cram AI into everything. I don't think I included it. It might have been from last week, and I think last week we did security instead. But Microsoft, it was a report for this week. I have no idea why I did not include this in the reports. I must have saw it, and it got accidentally excluded from the news. Microsoft just released ChatGPT 4. Okay, the one that made waves around the world is 3. They just released 4. The problem is OpenAI said, do not release 4 yet. And Microsoft said, and released it anyway. Now OpenAI is like, we got a problem, because it's doing a lot weird stuff. Of course, Microsoft and Google are in this absolute arms race. It's like literally like United States and Russia building up these nuke stockpiles. We're talking Cold War, not modern day. Different things are going on right now, but they're building up these stockpiles. And remember how we came 30 seconds from nuclear holocaust until a Russian commander says, we're going to hold off and not push the button quite yet. I would like to, I'm not comfortable with this scenario yet. Literally, we came 30 seconds, one command from a nuclear missile being shot by a Russian sub at the United States. I think it was the Clinton administration. And correct me if I'm wrong on that one. Or not Clinton, JFK administration. No, definitely not the Clinton administration. It would have been justified under that administration, but never mind. Under the Kennedy administration. That's how close we came. Well, that's what Google and Microsoft are doing. They're both racing, and the hell with it. And in the middle of all this crap, Microsoft laid off the AI ethics team. Literally. We're going to get involved in an AI arms race with Google and lay off our whole ethics team. Are you kidding me? So Elon Musk and Wozniak, they all come out like, I think we need to slow down, gentlemen. We are getting a little bit too crazy here. All right. So Musk, Wozniak, and other tech innovators signed an open letter urging a temporary pause in the development of AI systems more powerful than OpenAI's ChatGPT-4, citing risks to society and civilization. Amen to that. Because if it does get smarter than simply summarizing Google results, it is going to destroy us. All right. So Steve Wozniak, Elon Musk, hosts of other leaders in the artificial experts are urging AI labs to pause developments. The letter asks them to immediately pause for at least 6 months the training of AI systems more powerful than ChatGPT-4. It was issued by the Future of Life Institute and signed by more than 1,000 people, including Musk, who argued that safety protocols need to be developed by independent overseers to guide the future use of it. The letter warns us at this stage, no one can understand, predict, or reliably control the powerful new tools developed in AI labs. The undersigned tech experts cite the risk of propaganda and lies spread through AI-generated articles that look real, and even the possibility that AI programs can outperform workers and make jobs obsolete. And of course, add to this that the average person in this society is so incompetent as to not verify things that you start releasing AI propaganda, you can call an end to the world. That is a problem. So this might have actually been the article that talked about Microsoft. Let's see. Signatories include the Stability of AI CEO Iman Mostiak, researchers at Alphabet own DeepMind, as well as AI heavyweights Yoshi Bengo and Stuart Russell, emphasize that AI development in general should be not pause, writing in their letters, calling a mere stepping back from the dangerous race to ever larger, unpredictable black box models with emergent capabilities. All right. So yeah, this is the thing. Since release of Microsoft's backed OpenAI's ChatGPT has prompted rivals to accelerate development of large language models, companies to integrate generative AI models to their products. Of course, Sam Altman, CEO of OpenAI, is like, well, I don't want to stop this kind of stuff. I'm making some bank here. All right. But yes, Elon Musk, Wozniak, and a few others have said, maybe we should slow down a little bit. And with Microsoft, every AI thing Microsoft has released has gone rogue very fast. Let's just lay off our ethics team. Great. Sounds wonderful. Well, OpenAI might have to stop because of a legal challenge, though. That's good news. OpenAI may have to halt ChatGPT releases following an FTC complaint. Nonprofit claims OpenAI is breaking the law with biased and deceptive AI model. So a public challenge could put a temporary stop to the deployment of ChatGPT and other similar AI systems. Nonprofit Research Center for AI and Digital Policy has filed a complaint with the FTC alleging OpenAI is violating the FTC Act through its releases of large language models. The model is biased and deceptive and threatens both privacy and public safety, they claim. Likewise, it supposedly fails to meet commission guidelines calling for AI to be transparent, fair, and easy to explain. All right, the center wants FTC to investigate OpenAI and suspend future releases of large language models until they meet the agency's guidelines. So there is some question about can they continue to work because of everything going on, and I guess that's a question that we should have in the future. Well, if you'd like to help support the channel, we do have a Patreon page, patreon.com/TOMM. You can jump on over there, help support the channel. And with that, guys, thanks for watching, and we will see you next time. Thank you for watching this video from Switched to Linux. This channel would not be possible without the backing of the program supporters scrolling on the screen now. You can be a supporter at Patreon at patreon.com/TOMM or at thinklifemedia.com. I also want to thank the open source community who creates such excellent software that makes producing this show possible. Please remember to support your software communities. Thank you, and I hope that you enjoy switching to Linux.